product development process. In the last lecture, we learned about the 4 stages of the product lifecycle: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. As a product manager, it's so important that you are able to easily identify the stages of the product lifecycle that a product is in. It's also a really popular product management interview question, so go back to the lecture if you don't know all 4 stages. In this lecture, we're going to learn about the product development process. This is how you turn your ideas into actual products that people use. The product development process is essential to your role as a product manager. Every product that's being developed has a number of steps that it goes through. This is called the product development process. There are 7 major phases to the product development process. There's ideation, plan, develop, iterate, launch, steady state, then maintain or kill. Ideation. This is the phase where we investigate user problems and come up with a set of solutions that we'd like to test. User feedback and employee comments are a great source for discovering user problems. Plan. In the plan phase, you'll be researching your ideas to understand whether they're commercially viable and whether they'll actually solve the user's problem. Towards the end of your research in the plan phase, you will start to develop the roadmap for your idea, trying to understand how long it will take and what resources will be needed. Develop. This is where we create detailed timelines for your product and start to create a list of features that your product will have. In the develop phase, we'll start making user stories and also start speaking with engineers to understand how long a feature will take to build. By the time your engineers start developing your product, its requirements should be set in stone. In other words, your engineers should know exactly what they will be building by the end of the develop phase. Iterate. The iterate phase is when we've completed the first versions of our product, also known as the minimum viable product or MVP. We use this stage to get some early feedback from users and to test our assumptions made during the ideation phase of the product development process. At this stage, you'll start to release alpha and beta versions of your product to get it into users' hands and gather that really valuable user feedback. Launch. At this stage, you'll want to work with all of your internal stakeholders. This is your marketing team, PR team, sales team, customer support team, and also your legal team to ensure your product has a really effective release. The aim is to make your product a success. So nailing the launch stage of the product development process is essential. Steady state. During the steady state, you'll be collecting data on how people are using your product, then using this data to improve your product to make sure it meets its KPIs and is successful. Maintain or kill. It sounds a bit harsh, but it is. The maintain or kill phase is where we decide whether the product is a success or can become a success in a short period of time after a few changes. In this phase, we look at how much money your company is spending to maintain your product versus how much money it's actually making. Sometimes, if a product just doesn't fit with the vision or direction your company is moving in, senior management can decide to kill your product. It's essential that you don't get too attached to any of your products, as killing them is a big part of the product development process. So, to recap, in this lecture, we've learned everything we need to know about the product development process. We've covered the 7 major phases of the development process: ideation, plan, develop, iterate, launch, steady state, then maintain or kill. In the next lecture, we'll be learning about lean product development and how you can use lean product development in your role as a product manager.